There are many actors who have played Hercule Poirot. Albert Finney played him with theatrical force. Peter Ustinov played him with warmth and wit. Others have interpreted him as comic, eccentric, irritable, and charming. But David Suchet did something slightly different. He didn't try to reinterpret Poirot. He tried to inhabit him completely. And the key to understanding his performance is not the moustache, it's the shoes. Suchet has spoken about this many times. He has said that he doesn't fully become Poirot when he puts on the moustache, not even when he dons the immaculate suit. It is when he puts on the shoes, the specific cut, the heel, the structure, that character begins to emerge. The shoes change how he walks, and the walk changes everything. That detail tells you what kind of actor you are dealing with. This is not surface performance. This is embodied discipline. And that discipline is what made Agatha Christie's Poirot one of the most sustained, coherent character performances in British television history. Before filming began, Suchet read the entire Christie canon featuring Poirot, not just the novels being adapted that year, all of them. He made notes, he tracked details, he wrote down references to how Poirot stands, how he dresses, how he eats, how he speaks, how he regards disorder, how he reacts emotionally. This wasn't preparation for a role, it was preparation for stewardship. And that's the crucial distinction. Suchet did not approach Poirot as a character to interpret freely. He approached him as a literary figure to honour. That doesn't mean slavish imitation, it means discipline. It means asking, what is in the text? What does Christie actually describe? How consistent is she? Where are the contradictions? How can those contradictions be reconciled? This is an actor treating source material not as inspiration, but as authority. In an era when television often truncates, simplifies, or modernizes literary characters, that approach is rare. Poirot is not Sherlock Holmes. Holmes burns. Holmes rages. Holmes suffers visibly. He is often kinetic, abrupt, psychologically volatile. Poirot is controlled. His vanity is precise. His manners are deliberate. His gestures are measured. Even his indignation is tidy. It is easy to play Poirot as a comic affectation. The accent, the fastidiousness, the obsession with symmetry. Suchet does not eliminate those traits, but he calibrates them. They are never parody. They are never indulgence. They are structural. The Belgian accent is steady but not exaggerated. The posture is upright but not stiff to absurdity. The humour is dry, not broad. And this is where the shoes matter again, because Suchet's Poirot walks carefully. He does not stride. He does not slouch. He does not prowl. He advances. Each step is intentional. That walk communicates psychology. This is a man who orders the world by moving through it carefully. And there is another dimension here that often goes unremarked. Agatha Christie's Poirot ran from 1989 to 2013. That is 24 years. Across that time, British television changed dramatically. Budgets shifted, filming styles evolved, audiences fragmented. Prestige drama redefined itself. And yet Suchet's Poirot remained coherent. The early episodes are lighter in tone, all colour, art deco, slightly playful. The latter episodes grow darker, more psychologically interior, more sombre, more austere. But the character does not reset, he deepens. This is extraordinarily difficult to sustain. Television, unlike film, requires repetition. An actor can give a definitive 2-hour performance, but to sustain a literary character across decades requires something else entirely. It requires discipline. It requires boundaries. It requires refusing to let the character drift into convenience. Suchet's Poirot ages. He softens. He carries more visible weight of experience in the later adaptations, but he does not lose form. The walk remains, the posture remains, the voice remains, the shoes still shape the body. That consistency is not accidental, it is built. There is a temptation when discussing Poirot to ask who was definitive. Was it Ustinov? Was it Finney? Is it Suchet? That framing is not especially helpful because what Suchet accomplished was different in nature. Albert Finney's Poirot in Murder on the Orient Express is theatrical and heightened, a performance designed for cinema scale. Peter Ustinov's Poirot carries warmth and conversational charm. He bends the character slightly towards his own persona. Suchet did something less flamboyant and more demanding. He subordinated himself to the text. That does not necessarily make him better, but it does make him the most disciplined adaptation of the character, and that discipline matters in television. Agatha Christie's Poirot is also an ITV prestige production. The early series in particular, with its Art Deco stylisation, period detail and careful framing, signals quality. But prestige here is not spectacle, it is containment. The production design is meticulous, but not ostentatious. The direction is classical, not experimental. The structure follows the logic of the mystery faithfully. This containment complements Suchet's performance. The world around Poirot is ordered, until it is disrupted by murder, and Poirot restores order. And Suchet's embodiment of the character mirrors that thematic function. He is symmetry walking into chaos. That's not just narrative, that's physical storytelling. It would be a mistake to describe Suchet's Poirot as emotionally distant. What he does instead is embed emotion inside restraint. Watch the later adaptations, particularly the final episodes. There is fatigue there. There is moral sorrow. There is isolation. But it never spills into melodrama. The emotional beats are carried in stillness, in the way he holds eye contact, in the way his voice softens, in the slight slowing of his step. This is the opposite of flamboyant acting. It is interior. And that internalization is harder to sustain in long-form television because repetition tempts exaggeration. Suchet resists that temptation. He maintains calibration. There is something else important here. When you watch Suchet's Poirot, you feel authority, not because he dominates the screen through force, but because he seems rooted in the text. He behaves as though the character has a life beyond the script in front of him. And that sensation comes from preparation, from reading everything, from mapping the canon, from deciding what cannot be violated. That kind of fidelity gives the series weight. It tells the audience, this is not improvisation, this is interpretation within boundaries. And in an era when adaptation often means reinvention, that fidelity feels almost radical. And let's return to the shoes. It sounds trivial, but it isn't. Shoes change posture. Posture changes breath. Breath changes voice. Voice changes psychology. That chain of embodiment is classical acting technique, but it requires discipline to trust it. Suchet didn't chase big gestures. He built the character from the ground up, literally. And that is why the performance feels inhabited rather than displayed. When the series concluded in 2013, it did not end because the character had lost coherence. It ended because the canon was complete. That in itself is telling. The series structured itself around Christie's work, and when the source material ended, so did the adaptation. There is something respectful in that decision. It mirrors Suchet's approach, not endless reinvention, not extension for its own sake, completion. So David Suchet's Poirot represents something rare in television. A long-form performance built not on charisma alone, nor reinvention, nor radical reinterpretation, but on discipline, on preparation, on physical embodiment, on fidelity, on containment. In a medium that often rewards flamboyance, this is a quieter achievement, but perhaps a more durable one. He did not detonate the frame, he honoured it, and by honouring it, he made it lasting. Poirot is not a moustache. He is not an accent. He is not even a set of mannerisms. He is a way of moving through the world, and David Suchet found that movement in the smallest detail. That is performance discipline. And that is why this version of Poirot endures. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will be back on another day with another TV show. Bye.